Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to a very special edition of Border Crossings. This week, we mark the 21st anniversary of World Refugee Day, a day that was begun back in 1951. It was actually a part of the United Nations who decided to, at that time, to acknowledge and welcome refugees into the world as they should be. Whoever, wherever, whenever was a motto that was adopted at that time. They all deserve a safe place. Today, we've got a very special guest. He's the founder and director of a group of young ladies who are a refugee choir that was started a number of years ago. We'd like to welcome to our program Con Fulham, who's with us. Con is our guest. And
hello.
You started the Pihcintu choir back when? A number of years ago. How many years ago did you start this project?
I started this chorus 17 years ago, believe it or not.
And you had, I guess there's been quite a range of how many girls you've had in the choir at any given time.
Our average is somewhere between 24 and 30. I've had well over 300 girls go through the chorus. One of the great pieces I think that we're very proud of is that 100% of the girls have graduated from high school and 85% have gone on to post-secondary.
Mm-hmm. Now, World Refugee Day was at one point in time called African Refugee Day. But of course, the United Nations adopted it so that refugees were welcome from all over the world. Your choir is made up of the girls from where? I mean, they live in the United States, but their background comes from where?
Well, literally, we are the United Nations. Over the course of time, I think we've represented over 35 countries from Japan, from Vietnam, from Cambodia, from all the African countries. I have a girl now who is half Turkish and half Russian. So we've really covered the world at one point or another.
Mm-hmm. And these are all girls whose families have migrated to the United States. They've actually relocated here.
Correct. These are refugees from all of the various countries that I just mentioned, and then some. Mm-hmm. We go through waves. For instance, now we're getting a lot of girls from Angola, from Congo, recently from Haiti, and I'm sure shortly we'll get a number from Ukraine.
Right. And these are people who are fleeing difficult situations, safety, a variety of reasons that they're leaving their countries.
Oh, no question. I mean, like all the refugees before them, they didn't come here just because it was a holiday. They came here forced in some way or another.
Mm-hmm. And what is your connection to refugees? Why did you decide you wanted to do this kind of a project?
Well, one of the reasons is that Catholic Charities is a huge organization here in Maine, dealing with refugees and immigrants. And a good friend of mine was the executive director. And 17 years ago, we were having lunch and talking about the kinds of things that these families face when they arrive here. And the very first thing that happens is you lose your voice, right? You come here speaking Arabic or Swahili or Bengali. And so the idea was to form a chorus to give these girls their voices back.
Mm-hmm. And you picked Pihcintu as the name of the choir.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, you come up with all the classic rainbow chorus, whatever, the obvious names mm-hmm. are, and they're all taken in one way or another. So in a fit of pique, I went to the Portland Public Library and I got out the Passamaquoddy dictionary. Passamaquoddy tribe is an indigenous Indian tribe here in Maine. And they are a division of the Passamaquoddy, the Wabanaki. And in Wabanaki, Pihcintu means when they sing, their voices carry far. So what could be better?
That's it. Perfect. The voice of angels. You've got a beautiful group of girls. And they start at they've been as young as 8, I read.
Yeah, actually, we have a 9-year-old. We go from 9 to 27 currently.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And all of these girls had sung in their lives back in their home countries, their homeland, or is this something brand new? You just discovered a talent that they have?
Well, all of them love to sing. Whether mm-hmm. they were actually in some sort of formal chorus back in their homelands, unlikely. Mm-hmm. But these are just girls that get up in the morning and sing.
Mm-hmm. And what will you guys be doing on the 20th, which is tomorrow, I believe? So what will you be doing on World Refugee Day?
Well, we'll be preparing for a concert at the National Cathedral on the 24th in Washington, D.C.
No, right down the block, the block. Have you guys performed all across the United States? Have you taken this choir outside of the United States?
No, we've never been outside the U.S. we obviously, like everyone else, face massive transportation issues. You can imagine what it would cost. I mean, I have requests literally from across the country, but you can figure out what it would cost to take these kids on an airplane to LA, right? 30 people times, it's just prohibitive.
Well, you
But
know,
we travel from Maine to Washington, D.C. and all places in between. We've done a number of shows at the UN in New York.
it sounds like a perfect fit for America's Got Talent. And I bet you the girls would love to be on that show.
Well, maybe.
Caught you off guard. We're talking with Con Fulham, who is the director and the co-founder, or the founder. I guess you found it with someone, or you found this project by yourself.
Well, there was a co-founder in the very, very beginning.
And so you're now in charge of everything. You pick the songs for the girls. Are these all original songs, or tell me about the songs?
A lot of them are original songs. Others are they're songs that they've chosen. Some are songs that we've co-written together.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you do it all. And what's your background in music? I mean, were you a singer or a songwriter? Where did music come into your life?
I grew up as a musician, and I was a touring artist for many years, and I recorded for Epic and I recorded for Chrysalis, and I wrote for most every publishing company with the exception of EMI at one point or another.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, we are thrilled to have you on the show. This is a very special occasion, and every year, of course, the Voice of America marks this occasion by welcoming refugees onto our program who are in music and making music. And we're thrilled to have the Pihcintu Choir with us today and its founder, Con Fulham. Now we're going to ask you to have the girls perform a song for us. The first song, what are you having them perform for us?
I think the very first song is called Somewhere. And it was a song written just to set it up very briefly. It was a song, I wrote the song about a young singer who had just arrived with us from Namibia. And we were asked to perform at the UN. And so her mom accompanied her on the bus with us. But when we got to New York, she really didn't have the papers necessary to enter the UN. And so she literally had to stay on the bus while her daughter performed for the General Assembly.
Wow. Well, thank you. Con Fulham is our guest. This song is called Somewhere. It's the Pihcintu Choir.
Somewhere there's a place for me. Somewhere where I can be. A place of peace and harmony. A place where everyone can be. Somewhere where we all can live together. Can you believe what I believe? Can you wish the same as me? Can you? The time that we can make us all one heart, one mind, one dream, one soul. A place where everyone can live together. 'Cause if we believe and we can achieve, we can be anything on earth we want to be. Just follow the sun, wish on the stars, and the love to find the people that we are. May we walk the road to find that place together. May we be as one beneath our sun together. May we make the bells if we believe, then we can achieve. We can be anything on earth we want to be. Just follow the sun, wish on the stars, and the love to find the people that we are. Somewhere.
That song is called Somewhere. It's performed by the Pihcintu Choir, and we have three members of the Pihcintu Choir with us right now. We have Brenda, Marceline, and Natalia, who are joining us right now. Welcome, girls.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Don't be shy. Hello. So that was a beautiful song that you guys just performed, Somewhere. And so how long have you been a member of the Pihcintu Choir, the three of you?
Well, I started when I was in my junior year of high school, and I'm still here.
And when was that, your junior year of high school? How old are you now?
Well, I'm 22.
You're 22. All right.
Yeah.
And Marceline?
2019, sorry.
In 2019. So just a
Yes.
few years. And how about you, Natalia?
I actually started also in 2019, like about 2019, 2020.
Mhm. And I was reading about you. You're originally from Angola.
Yes.
And you came here, I guess, with your siblings, and you are actually taking care of your siblings, if I'm not mistaken. You're raising your family, you're raising your kids, your siblings, I mean,
Yes.
and you're going to school, and you're in a choir. How do you manage all of these demands? How do you fit all that into your schedule?
I really enjoy making to-do lists. That like kind of like helps me know what I want to do, and
Mhm.
because like sometimes I forget what I need to do, and like just writing it all down, like I need to like clean the house, do some chores, and then do my homework, and like to-do lists like really help me figure everything out.
Mhm. Is it the same for you other girls? I mean, you also find that you have to kind of organize your thoughts and organize your plans in order to fit everything in?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's probably a lot. I mean, being in this choir involves a lot of travel, a lot of performing, and it obviously is fun. You're having a good time doing this. Is something you ever imagine yourself being a part of a choir, or were you in a choir before at one point in your lives?
I mean, for me, I've been in a choir before, and like I used to perform in church. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's not something new, but it's something that when I came here, I would like to able to continue. So
And you're originally from Kenya.
I'm not originally from Kenya, but I moved there when I was 2 years old.
Oh, you
So
moved there when you're 2. Okay.
when I was
Do you
2.
know the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, my show is carried there. They listen. I got a lot of mail from Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya, and I hear from Kisii and Nairobi as well. So we'll give you a chance later on to say hi to everybody back home. But Marceline, how about you? I mean, you were originally from DRC, so were you always singing? Has music always been a part of your life?
Not yet, but I like to sing.
Mm.
It was
And
my
who-
first time to sing. It was on Pihcintu, and then I was singing to school too.
And so, who do you like to listen to? I mean, some of your favorite artists. Who do you guys listen to here in the United States?
For me, I listen to a boy band called BTS.
Oh, you're a member of the army. She's in
Yes,
the
I am.
army. Huh? Okay.
Yes.
And how about the other two girls?
I like John Legend.
Wonderful, good taste. Natalia, how about you?
I like to listen to Billy Joel.
Oh, old school. Why do you like Billy Joel? Why do you like? We're talking about artists from the 70s and the 80s.
I can relate to a lot of his songs, and when I listen to his music, it just kind of brings me to like a different universe, and I can just like settle down and like calm down
That's great. Well, we've got three lovely ladies, Marceline, Brenda, and Natalia. They are in Pihcintu, and we're going to ask you guys to do another song for us. And I believe this next song is called One Journey. So can you tell me something about the song One Journey?
So One Journey is basically a song based on immigrants who are like travel in a long distance. And so it's basically like telling a story of young immigrant children to tell their story on one journey, like they've been the journey for long and they would like to be where they felt like safe and tell their stories.
All right, let's get safe. One Journey with the Pihcintu Choir right here on Border Crossings.
Everywhere around the world today, we see our faces on the daily news. We have the millions who have lost their way. No home from shore to shore. Everywhere around the world today, so many more have lost their way. So we are here today to shout it out. No more, no more. 'Cause we are many on one journey. We are one heart beating strong. 'Cause we are many on one journey. Marching on, marching on, marching on. From Syria to Afghanistan, Iraq, Myanmar, and South Sudan. Silent voices running deafening ears, so no one hears, no one hears. From Guatemala to El Salvador, they hear us claiming our freedom's door. So we are here today to shout it out. No more, no more. 'Cause we are many on one journey. We are one heart beating strong. 'Cause we are many on one journey. Marching on, marching on, marching on. 'Cause we are many on one journey. We are one heart beating strong. 'Cause we are many on one journey. Marching on, marching on, marching on. Marching on, marching on, marching on. Marching on, marching on, marching on.
Border Crossings, the Pihcintu Choir, and that was called One Journey. We've got three lovely ladies who have had quite a journey, quite a different journey. I imagine it's been very, very different for you all. What was the biggest adjustment coming to the United States for the very first time, if you can remember it? Because some perhaps came when you were very, very small, but what's been your biggest adjustment here?
I mean, if I can recall it, when I came, when I was like 12 years old, I mean, it was cold for me because it was like a different environment where I live, where I used to raise and grow with it. It was like hot. There's no like different weather, like say like changes, seasons changing. So it was like different to adjust to the cold weather. So yeah, I have to like teach myself to get used to it and able like to have like a heavy jacket to cover myself as I can. So it yeah, that was like still, I can remember like that kind of like cold that I felt when I was like,
Natalia, do you remember the first time you saw snow?
Oh my gosh. I remember like it was yesterday. The first time I saw snow, it was really strange for me because obviously I was living in Angola and like it never snows there. And I thought it was like sugar or like salt, sugar coming from the sky.
Wow. So yeah, I guess the weather would be a big adjustment. Probably also food. You get used to a certain kind of
Yeah.
food and you come here and you have to get used to a different kind of food.
Yes.
You know, is that true? I mean, has it been good? I mean, coming here and, oh, McDonald's, yay. Or what's it been like for you?
So like in Angola, I eat different kind of food than what I eat here.
Mhm.
And like when I came here to Maine, like I tried pizza for the first time and it was kind of strange because like it's like taste buds, like my taste buds like don't really adjust to that because like I've never tried that before. But like the more I kept eating that food, the more I like got used to it. And now like American food and like Italian food is like normal to me and like I can eat it anyway.
Yeah, because you guys have been here a while. Marceline, you've been here the shortest amount from, I guess, all three.
3 years. I'm here
Yep.
for 3 years. Yes.
And you came from DRC.
Yes, exactly.
And so, I mean, you're in school now. Are you going to school?
I'm senior now.
Oh, what? I mean, do you have a subject you'd like to pursue, a career down the road?
Sure. Yes.
What do you want to do?
I would do nursing. I'll study nursing.
Nursing. Great.
Yeah.
How about your other Brenda and Natalia? What do you want to do?
well, I'm a nursing student as well. So I'm majoring in nursing. So.
And you, Natalia?
I actually do a lot of things. Like I do track, I am a poet, I like to sing, dance, play guitar. So probably do something with like activism and singing and also marine biology.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to recite the latest poem you wrote.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're on.
It's not the latest, but it's the second.
All right, second to latest. Go ahead.
Okay. A silent voice beyond the trees of a forest, unseen and unheard, never to be witnessed. But soon, Mother Nature came. My poetry doesn't, I don't really like remember my poems.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, that was
It's
beautiful.
long.
You had me on the edge of my seat. I mean,
It's
you know,
a
I
little
can,
sneak peek.
well, a little sneak peek. And are you going to publish a book of poetry? What is your plan?
I want to do public speaking and like, I like to read my poetry like to an audience.
I just gave you a chance with 300 million people.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we're talking with three very lovely ladies. Pihcintu is the name of the choir they're a part of. How many members of the choir are there currently?
26.
26.
Yeah.
And so it's you know, are you all like altos or sopranos, or where do you all fit in as far as your vocal range?
I mean, it depends how you can sing the position. Are you the high or? So we don't have like a position. I feel like everybody can fit in. It depends on how can they carry like those vocals.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to carry some vocals now on a song called Heart to Heart. So maybe you can tell me about Heart to Heart. What are we going to hear?
To me personally, Heart to Heart is a song that tries to tell the person who's listening to the song that we shouldn't just sit around. We should come together as a community. Like there's a verse that was like, we should plant the seed and we should build a community together and just like hold our hands, reach out to each other because there's people who are like suffering and dying, and like it doesn't just take one person to fix the problem. It takes all of us, and like we need to come together as a community. So Heart to Heart, that's what Heart to Heart means to me.
All right. Well, it's beautiful. Well put. Let's check it out. The Pihcintu Choir. And this is called Heart to Heart on Border Crossings.
carry nothing to eat. In a war there are children dying. So it's up to us to stand on our feet. And with heart to heart, and with hand in hand, the seeds that we sow will grow from the land. And with heart to heart, and with hand in hand, every child, everywhere will find comfort and care from our hearts to their hands.
'Cause it doesn't take a great nation, and it doesn't take millions to make a great change. All it takes is determination from a few, you and me, to kindle the flame.
And with heart to heart, and with hand in hand, the seeds that we sow will grow from the land. And with heart to heart, and with hand in hand, every child, everywhere will find comfort and care from our hearts to their hands. So we reach out our hearts, hold out our hands for the many who can, 'cause we know that we can save the children, save the world, save the children, every boy, every girl. And with heart to heart, and with hand in hand, the seeds that we sow will grow from the land. And with heart to heart, and with hand in hand, every child, everywhere will find comfort and care from our hearts to their hands. 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 From our hearts to their hands.
Border Crossings, Heart to Heart is the name of the song. The Pihcintu Choir is our guest today. 3 members of the choir, which is in the 20s, upper 20 range now. And you guys have been, as you mentioned before, members of the choir for quite a while. What's the best part of being in this choir?
Well, we get to have fun. And
You
then
get to have fun.
yes,
Yes.
and get to travel like outside of our state. So we
Mhm.
always here all the time. So it's like give us opportunity like to visit different states and discover something new.
Mhm. What
Yeah.
What has been your favorite state to visit so far?
Washington, D.C.
Ah, good
Yeah.
choice. Good choice. Yeah, you've done a lot of things in Washington. You also work with Yo-Yo Ma. Did you not? I believe I read you did something with Yo-Yo Ma.
Yes.
Mhm.
What's been the highlight for you in the choir so far? What's been the one moment that stands out above all the others? And you don't have to have the same highlight. You can all have, different highlights. What's been your highlight? Let's say we'll start with Brenda.
Well, for me, when I gave my first speech and I was shaking, that I did the best as I can. So it's still the best highlight I still have with me, like proud of myself.
Now, when you say you gave your first speech, what does that mean?
Telling my story.
Oh, and where did you tell your story?
So it was like a part that we visited. I can't recall it, but it's a place in here in Maine. We went and I was just sharing something that I feel like people should know about myself, like the journey that I've been through as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And how about you? What's your, highlight been, Marceline?
And the first time I was scary nervous, but for now I'm good.
So
Yeah.
you made some new friends and you're
Yes.
comfortable, new family. You got a new family.
Yes, Pihcintu, it's my
Yes.
second family. It's my home.
Your new home, your new family. That's wonderful. And Natalia, what about you? What's been the highlight so far? Besides today, besides this interview, what's been your highlight?
My highlight has been the audience. Whenever I just get up to that microphone, I feel like I'm being heard, like everyone's eyes is on me, and like I feel like I finally have a chance to be heard and to be seen. And every highlight of mine is always like being on stage and being with the audience and having the crowd laughing and crying and rejoicing with us. And that's always my highlight.
Wow, that is wonderful. It sounds like you're a natural born performer. If you love the crowd, you love the audience, then that's kind of, every performer loves the audience and feeds off of that. So Brenda, I want to go back to you. You talked about telling your story. Could you share a part of your story with us? I know it's painful. I know that these stories can be painful. The journey to come to America and to try to flee what was a difficult situation, a difficult life that you really didn't choose. You were kind of born into that situation, but here you are. So Brenda, please, share your story with our audience.
So my family had to flee from South Sudan during the Civil War, and I was only young age. I can't remember. Like, I don't know a lot of relatives, and majority of them I lost. And I was raised in refugee camp since when I was 2 years old. So I've been living for 9 years in refugee camp before I moved to the United States. So the journey is like, I lost the language that I was supposed to speak, which is like my native tongue, which is Bari. And I also lost the relatives, like I barely know them. I don't know, because like I'm a lost generation. That's what I call myself, because I don't know anyone who related to me. So we were like struggling because my mom is raising 7 kids by herself as a single mom. All of us have to battle between the obstacles that we're facing as refugees, and never like to find a better path to come to the States, and never like to find a place where everybody felt like, and our family felt safe. So it was struggle journey that I have to like ask myself, who am I? And where am I belong to? What tribe am I belong to? What culture? What is the custom that my family, like my relatives used to have? It's something that have to question myself, like trying to figure out where I have to like feel like I have people who have the same cultures that I am. I was raised in different cultures with different nationalities. So trying to discover who like my relatives are and who am I, and who like trying to find who am I exactly, like where
your identity. You're trying to find your
it's just like I'm lost. I am lost. I don't know where to fit in, where I can call myself like, oh yeah, I'm from this culture. What culture is this? Like I'm barely cannot describe the culture I am, like that part of me.
But one thing we all have in common wherever we're from is we're all human beings.
Yes.
We all have the capacity to love, we all love and need, and every baby that's born needs to feel comforted and needs to feel held and cuddled. And so, regardless of what country we're from, we're all the same race. And what was your birth name? If you could tell, because there are people watching right now back at home that you say you lost touch with, that are saying, she looks like somebody I know. So what was your birth name?
My name is Brenda Jojo Viola, which is like sound English name. So yes.
All right. Well, if anybody back home recognizes, that they can write to me, and I can, certainly get a message to you. You say you lost touch with family and stuff back home. So, and how about you, Natalia? What's your story? I want to hear from you as well. Came here from Angola. What age were you?
I came here to Maine when I was 7 years old.
And so how did you come here? How did you get here?
So it all started in our home, me, my mom, and my younger siblings. It just wasn't like stable for us to stay there. And my dad made a decision to come here for our education because he wanted us to have a better life. So we had to hide and leave so that no one could find out that we left. And that was my story to come in here.
And sometimes, when you're young, you don't understand those things. But when you have children, you will understand. You will understand that you will make any sacrifice necessary for the best life of your children. And so I can understand it. Marceline, are you okay? Is everything all right? Are you all right, sweetie?
Yes.
Yeah, you miss home too, right? You miss home. I know you miss home. You want to say hello to anybody back home?
What?
You want to say hi? You want to send a greeting? You can speak in your native tongue if you want. It's okay. We have a lot of people listening back home in DRC. So if you want to say something.
Bote.
That's great. I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to do another song. This, I believe, is the last song that you guys are going to perform for us. And it's a song called Under One Sky. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about this song.
Okay. So Under One Sky, for me, I believe is just stating about harmony and peace. So we need to live in a country where everybody feel peace and harmony. Like everybody, there's no conflict. There's no someone forced to get out of their country. So everybody live in a place where everybody feel welcome, regardless where they're from.
All right, that's beautiful. Under One Sky, it's the Pihcintu Choir here on Border Crossings.
This is no time for hesitation. This is no time to sit and think. There are so many desperate nations, so many millions on the brink, so many dying from starvation, so many
It's World Refugee Day on June 20th, and you're watching Border Crossings on television. We've been listening to the Pihcintu Choir and a song called Under One Sky, which is a beautiful story, and yet at the same time a bit tragic about people trying to flee a difficult situation to find a better life. And so we've got three lovely ladies from the Pihcintu Choir who have found a better life. The journey's not been easy. And, you know, I'm sure you have American friends here who probably don't understand the struggles you've been through. And when you tell them your stories, they're probably absolutely amazed. And if they believe them at all, it's kind of like, I can't believe what you've been through. Now, Natalia, you're shaking your head yes.
Yeah, I've experienced a lot of like shock, and everybody always thinks that like I was born here because of how like perfect my English is. And that just makes me think about the years and the struggles of crying and like thinking about like how it was hard to learn this language, and like forcing myself as a young African girl that the only way to fit in, the only way to look normal was to learn the language, to fit in, to speak it perfectly, to be confident, to have high posture. So it's like really, really crazy to think about that.
I don't know if you girls really understand the impact that you have on the world, for that matter. You guys are role models. You guys are inspirations, all three of you, and anybody who's ever had to go through a difficult situation in their life and found a better path forward. Those people set an example for everyone. And that's exactly what you guys have done, although it doesn't always feel that way. And I know, Brenda, you said you lived in a refugee camp. And those of us here in America, we don't know what that means. We really don't understand what that means. We take a lot for granted. Maybe you could tell me what your life was like in a refugee camp.
I mean, for me, because as a kid, because I have a lot of friends who surrounded me. So, I mean, there's struggle. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, I was like usually going to school in and out because it depends on the money. If you have like the money to pay school fees and stuff like that, you're allowed to have that education. So for me, it was like a struggle, like going to school. I was like not active school student. So I was like in and out. So, and also like when it comes to struggle, because you don't know what your next meal is, like you don't know where's the food coming from. So like one thing as a kid I remember like growing up with my siblings, like we all like trying to maintain ourselves to feel healthy is by growing produce, like something that we can eat. That's the only way we can survive. So well,
you guys are survivors, and you know, we have a lot of people, as I say, watching, who are in other countries around the world, and they admire you because they wish they were you. They wish they were where you are now. And they wish they could find a better path. I get, you know, messages all the time, email from many, many listeners around the world talking about getting a visa for them or trying to win the lottery for a visa and get out of their country. But you guys have managed to do it. I just want to end on a lighter note. I want to ask each one of you, what's your favorite food from back home? What do you miss the most? Your number one favorite dish from back home?
I mean, for me, this dish is from Uganda. It's called matoke. It is also Kenyan people eat. So it's one thing that I miss because like it's something that I used to like eat with my friends, and it's something like just like reminds me where I grew up, where like the people that I used to hang out with. Even though like I don't see them anymore, but it's still a part of that dish. Like I can remember them through that dish.
And I bet you if you close your eyes and you smell that dish when it's being cooked, it brings back all memories. They all come right back. Yes. Marceline, how about you? What's your favorite food from back home?
I like pondu.
I was gonna say that.
Pondu with fufu.
What is pondu?
It's kind of leaves, green leaves.
Is it cassava leaves?
Cassava leaves, yes. Cassava leaves.
That sounds delicious. All right, Natalia, you're last. Now you can't use pondu because she just did.
Yeah, I really like beans and fufu.
Fufu?
Yeah.
What is fufu?
It's like, it's kind of like a doughy.
Manjoka? Kind of manjoka?
Yeah. It's kind of like dough, but like, yeah, like you could like, you use it to like eat with like a soup.
Yeah.
Oh, because I've eaten Ethiopian food and they have a spongy, bready kind of thing that you eat with the meat and all that. But fufu, I'm gonna order some fufu. You guys made me hungry. I am hungry now. But I want to thank you guys, the Pihcintu Choir. We've got Brenda, Marceline, and Natalia who have joined us on our show today. Thank you, girls, for being with us. Thank you for blessing us with your presence and with all the great sounds and music. You know, you guys, you sing so beautifully and your voices are lovely. And thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Oh, thank you
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Yes, and anytime, you're welcome anytime. You know, if you like coming to Washington, D.C., that's where we are. We always have an invitation to stop by and visit us. Maybe you bring the whole choir with you the next time you're here.
Okay.
Thanks.
I guess
That would be a lot of fun.
see.
The Pihcintu Choir, that's the name of the group, and they are available on, I guess you can watch them, you can see them, you can go meet them. They're performing all over the United States. Do you guys have a website that people can go to? Do you happen to know what website? If people want to find out more about you or go watch your performances?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you just look up Pihcintu.
Show us how it's spelled, because it isn't spelled how it sounds. It's Pihcintu.org, Pihcintu.org. That's the website. You can get all the information about the choir. Thanks again, girls, for being with us here on this very special occasion. I appreciate it. My name is Larry London, and you are watching Border Crossings on VOA TV.